Hello everyone and welcome back to the Antorus boss guides. This is the Imonar the Soulhunter fight. Now with this fight what we have is two main platforms with a bridge connecting them. Each one of these platforms has a different set of rules, so let's go over them. Now on the first platform, the tanks are going to have to taunt off of each other every 4 stacks of the debuff. And for the DPS and healers, do not stand in any of the mines when they do drop down. They will do a lot of damage and a knockback, so they can actually knock you off of the platform and cause you to die. The only other mechanic during this phase is that 2 people will be put to sleep during this phase. Now this sleep is completely dispellable, but be aware that when you dispel the person, they do an AoE around them, sleeping everyone else around 7-yard AoE. Now if you are doing this in heroic, it is a 10-yard AoE. So what you need to do is when you see someone that's asleep, run away from them, wait for them to get dispelled, and then you can run back into position. Now once the boss gets to 66%, you will have the Intermission, which is running across the bridge. Now the first time you run across the bridge, you're going to see 2 different things here. Mines and traps. The landmines we already covered in phase 1, they're going to do damage and knock you back, but what the traps are going to do is stun everyone within an 8-yard AoE from them. So try to avoid both of these things. The stun is dispellable, so if there is no safe way to cross, have one person trigger the trap and then get dispelled. One other thing you don't want to do is jump over onto the sides of this bridge in order to cross that way. The sides of the bridge are actually on fire and will be doing a ton of damage to you. It is important to note here that if you are doing heroic version, while you have to cross this bridge, you're also going to have these giant balls of fel coming for you. So make sure you dodge them, they do a ton of damage as well, just do not get hit by them. Now when you make it over to the second platform, the tanks will now be taunting at every 2 stacks of Sever. There is a different type of mine that will be dropping here and it does look red instead of green, and this is actually going to be doing raid-wide damage when it explodes, so try not to set it off. The very last thing that happens here is that 2 people will get targeted by Charge Blast. What they need to do is move out of the raid because this blast will hit them, anyone in their way, and anyone behind them as well. The blast goes right through them. Also, just in case, you do not want to be close to anyone because anyone else hit by this will get knocked back and can be knocked off the platform. Now once we hit 33%, we are going to have the second intermission, which is crossing the bridge back from the way we came from. Now Imonar will be setting more traps, so remember both of the red traps are going to be doing raid-wide damage, whether it's the red tripwire or the red landmine. So too many of these can completely wipe your group. And any of the green traps are going to be limited to a local AoE. Now the mine will be doing damage and knocking you back, and the trap will be stunning you, but it is dispellable. So again, if you do not have any space to run through, have someone set off a trap and then dispel the stun off of them. Also, if you are doing this on heroic, you are going to have those fel orbs rolling towards you again, so avoid those. As soon as we get to phase 3, when we cross over to the platform, this is going to start the last phase and you should be using Bloodlust or Heroism here. Now at this point, the tank stacks do not fall off, so you should be taunting off between every 2 to 4 stacks in order to minimize the impact on the raid. As a tank, you should be rotating your defensive cooldowns as well because these stacks do last indefinitely and will be doing more and more damage. Now the 2 things to watch out for here is an AoE explosion that goes on the floor that you need to dodge. And every now and then as well, people will get a debuff that will cause them to pulse for a few seconds, dealing damage and knocking anyone back within their AoE. So if you see anyone pulsing like this, make sure you get away from them. That does it for this raid boss guide. Thank you all for watching, and as always, good luck out there.